Hey, what is up guys, and welcome back to another buyer's guide for Gran Turismo 7, this time featuring the McLaren Vision Gran Turismo, one of the craziest looking cars in the game, absolutely insane aero, some awesome liveries for it as well, so definitely, go and check them out. As you can see, I've got a custom livery on it here, but I kind of wanted to find out how well it performed. I didn't have the best opinion on this car when I originally drove it, but after doing this lap, I kind of absolutely love it. There's just something about how crazy this car is. There's a little bit of a twist to this buyer's guide, as you'll see pretty soon, but let's get into basically how much this car costs. As you can see, it's the pretty standard price for Vision Gran Turismo cars. It is $1 million, and it has an insane PP rating at 990.29, so absolutely insane performance. Absolutely, crazy looks to it. But yeah, as you can see, not badly priced, so you can earn that back in pretty much no time. So let's get into the little bit of the bonus clips. So yeah, I've added these in. As you can see, I was kind of putting the laps in, and I only have a single shot to do a full clean lap. If I make big mistakes like this, I kind of restart the lap so it gets a clean lap in. But as you can see, you're just on the limits of this car the whole time, and yeah, proving a bit of a handful, but when you nail the lap, you really do nail it. Some little bits of, accidents there. So yeah, we're all human, but I kind of thought I wanted to include these little mistakes, because some of these faster cars are just crazy to kind of, get the perfect lap in, or should I say a clean lap, because they're not always necessarily perfect. And if it's kind of a little accident, so, or maybe a lock of the brakes or something, I will keep that as a clean lap, because obviously that's kind of part of the car. But if you want a car that's going to kind of grab you by the scruff of the neck, and you're going to have to try and fight back against it, this is the car for you. Honestly, it is one of the most insane laps I feel like I've ever put into this game. So there is a bit of an issue with this car. It does not like curbs. Obviously, I drive no traction, no assist, manual transmission, all that good stuff. I think you kind of all know that by now. But yeah, it really does not like curbs. Obviously, I use these in default setups, straight out of the box feeling. And yeah, there was, as you can see, a couple of times in them, clips. It's just a little clip of the grass or a little clip of the curb a bit wrong, and it will pirouette around and kind of throw you into the barrier. So yeah, I mean, I was kind of on edge this whole lap, but I wanted to keep pushing because I knew the performance was there with this car, and just the way it ate the corners up, the top speed of it, the fact it's got DRS is absolutely nuts. This thing is just, if this is kind of the future of like hypercars, supercars, etc., then I'm all for it. I mean, I had an absolute blast putting this lap in. As you can see, a few mistakes along the way, but it's kind of part of the experience, I guess, for some of these faster cars. Are just perfecting these laps and kind of finding where the car's strong and where it's a little bit weaker. And the only downside to this car is it just doesn't like curbs. You can probably kind of get around that issue by kind of raising the ride height if you're going to do custom settings and setups for the car. Obviously, I don't do that for these buyer's guides, because I just want to give you that kind of, I've just bought this car, I'm going to give it a run through kind of feeling. I have used this car in the past and I just wasn't the biggest fan of it. I just could not get it to kind of like suit my driving style. You have to be very aggressive, but also very kind of careful. And for me, I can be an aggressive driver, and I do like pushing cars to the limits. But sometimes the car's just got its own limits and its own things that it just doesn't like. And you have to kind of try and get on top of that. But, I mean, this is my third attempt at it. As you can see, the first two not going great. But yeah, I managed to finally get that lap in and just absolutely nail it. I kind of found, pretty quickly where the strong points for this car is. And it's definitely, through these high-speed corners, it just eats them up, flies through them. You can hit them at max speed. You don't even have to lift off the throttle for the majority of them. It's, absolutely insane. So this is the point of the video where I'm going to go quiet for a little bit and let you listen to the engine. Let me know what you kind of think of the sound of the car. I think it sounds, absolutely great. But yeah, let me know in the comments. Personally, my highlight, you know, the sound design of this car is definitely when you're either downshifting, you get that nice crackle, or you lift off the throttle and it just pops and bangs. It's just absolutely awesome. It kind of reminds me of, like, I guess a modern muscle car kind of sound, a really, you know, grunty, deep sound to it. But absolutely love the sound design of this car, no complaints there. I love the way it looks. I mean, honestly, some of these VGT cars are absolutely insane, and this is definitely up there with some of the more crazy ones like the Lamborghini. Yeah, just awesome look to them. You can definitely see where they've kind of took influence from, I guess, I want to say kind of like the Formula One side that they do, with kind of the design of the car itself. It kind of looks like a cross between like an LMP1 car and an open wheel car. So yeah, absolutely just love the, you know, the aero on this thing. It's absolutely crazy. And as you can see, it's just eating up these corners like no tomorrow, hitting, you know, 200 plus miles an hour through these tight little sections. Really, you know, you feel like you're on edge this whole lap, and you're definitely just kind of hoping and praying that the car works with you. But when you do nail these laps or kind of nail events in this car, there's definitely no better feeling, and it kind of highlights what Gran Turismo is really, really good at, and it's very noticeable in Gran Turismo 7. It's just when you kind of nail these, you know, tough, difficult to drive cars, and, you know, nail a perfect lap or smash an event by God knows how much, you know, on the hardest difficulty. It really does highlight, you know, just what Gran Turismo is about. Is kind of getting these weird, insane cars and just grabbing them by the scruff of the neck, fighting with them, and kind of, you know, meeting on that middle ground, and kind of being in sync with the car. So it's absolutely awesome. As you can see through there, it just smashes that back straight in no time as we get down the gears into the tighter section before we get across the line. So apart from it being a little bit of a tough car to drive, I don't have a single complaint for this car. It's kind of one of them cars as you get used to it and it will work in sync with you and become one of, I guess, your favourite cars. There's no doubt about that. So, you know, it's just seeing these futuristic designs and kind of, you know, absolutely nailing laps with these cars is definitely just what these kind of cars are about, really, in my opinion. You know, just smashing through lap after lap and just really getting to grips with this car is just awesome. As you can see, the onboard view is absolutely incredible through here. Awesome little detail on the interior, you know, with the awesome steering wheel, big Gran Turismo McLaren logos on them, and obviously the, you know, the display on the windows, I guess. As you can see, it's got a track map, it's got what gear you're in, you know, what speed you're at, when you should change gears. It's just absolutely awesome. As you can see, a little bit of tail happiness going on there for the car, but not too bad, managing to get, you know, on top of that. And as you can see, it's just eating up these corners. A very, very good view from this camera angle in this car. Obviously very, you know, open and spacious, lots to see. So as you can see, it's just going to absolutely eat these corners up, and the speed just going up and up and up. So managing to just get down the gears here in one of the slower sectors, and then we're just going to fly off. And this is where the car is really going to pick up speed. You can see the acceleration of this thing. It just takes off. It's like a rocket as we go down the gears again, and we're going to get straight onto a faster sector. And this is definitely one of the most fun parts of the track, smashing this sector, where it's like, you know, elevation changes all over, but when you kind of get the car working with you, as you can see, we're up to nearly 220 miles an hour there as we go down the gears again. I did kind of notice that you know, if you short shift this car, it does work a lot better grip wise. Obviously, if you've got traction control, and it shouldn't be as bad, but for those that, you know, don't run traction or anything like that, or stability, definitely short shifting will, you know, kind of bring the car back around and make it a little bit easier to catch if it does decide to, you know, kind of break traction on you. And then obviously you've got the insane acceleration, really getting through to its top speed pretty much instantly, as the porpoising effect, the driver bumping about over the bumps and such. Absolutely awesome to see. So yeah, I really, really enjoy this camera angle because it does show, you know, some funny sides. Obviously there's nothing more funny than watching the driver bouncing about in his McLaren suit. It will actually put you in a different suit for this car, if for those of you that have not noticed already. So now on to the individual, you know, sectors of the track with an overall time of 5 minutes 34.897. So if you've been watching this series for a while, or watching every episode, I know a lot of you do. So I am very thankful to you guys. You will know that that is a very, very fast lap time, and it's going to put it right up there, if not top. Obviously, I'm not going to spoil that, but I'm about to. So who cares? So yeah, these are individual sectors, and it is top by a long shot. So obviously, we've been testing a lot of Le Mans cars recently, and they've been performing excellent. The Peugeot really catching me by surprise. I thought it was going to be closer to the Audi 2011 model in fifth. But no, it managed to top it, but it's been beat instantly. So I believe this is like the third or fourth video where a new car's kind of topped the timesheet. I believe it may be the fourth one. But as you can see, a very, very strong lap from the McLaren there, topping the time. So would I recommend you buying this car? I guess if you're more of a beginner player, I'd definitely recommend going elsewhere to kind of build your confidence up. But if you're, I guess, a more experienced player like myself, or played around with a lot of the cars in the game, and you want a challenge, then take all assists off and just try and absolutely smash laps with this thing, because there's no kind of bigger joy in Gran Turismo than really nailing a tough to drive car. Obviously, it has insane downforce, insane speed. Obviously, it has a DRS system, very impressive looking. There's no real downsides to it apart from it's a little bit tough to drive. But when you are nailing them laps, there's definitely no better feeling. When it comes to pretty much any racing game, Gran Turismo definitely excels. In that sense. So that's going to be the end of this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll hopefully see you all in the next one. Take care, guys. Cheers. Peace.